Hey guys, it's me, Jacob Sanders again, and it's been a while. Um, it's been about 5 weeks, I think. My last video was on September 11th, and I guess a little bit more than that. Today's October 21st, and I thought I would record another video. So I'll let you guys know what's been going on. So I was reading a lot of source code and studying a lot of JavaScript, for like probably around 30 days in a row. Um, and I was pretty much trying to build up some momentum to do some coding because I had some app ideas that I wanted to do, and but I just knew that I didn't really have the front end capacity to do it, um, and so I decided I would try and figure things out more and study a bunch. And so that's more or less what I did, but towards the tail end of those 30 days, I started doing coding exercises the end to sort of just like, um, I don't know, test things out and reinforce some stuff. And I basically just ended up going full blown coding after that. And I stopped recording videos because I was focused on building stuff. And I stopped reading source code because, again, I was focused on writing code. And worked on that stuff for a while. And I feel like I got a really nice step forward. I checked off a whole lot of different goals that I had. I had goals in terms of the back end that I wanted to make, which is really a two-part system. Um, and then I checked off a lot of goals for the front end that I made. I'm still thinking about whether I'm not going to release the source code, but I'm heavily leaning towards I will. But of course, this means I have to actually prepare all of the code, get rid of all the sensitive information in it. Write some stuff on my blog, maybe record a video about it. But one of the things that I'm going to be doing is populating a GitHub account now. So I've been using GitLab for a lot of my private stuff, and I just keep a lot of stuff on my local machine and back it up with an SSD drive a lot of the time because it's just more convenient. I don't have to worry about leaking anything bad. Um, and But now, since I'm starting to, I don't know, enter sort of a slightly different phase, I really have an online presence that I'm kind of cultivating. So I figured I should probably start making some repos in GitHub, and why not do some with the projects that I've been working on. And so I'm probably going to do that. I just have to get around to it. And what's funny is now my plan is I'm not going to write code for a while. I'm back to studying. And I have this new tool, which is similar to an old tool I had. I had an old tool that I called SRLQ, but now I have a new tool called SRLQ2, and I use it to basically read source code on the internet and track it. Just like my blog, I host it on AWS, and I store the data in a mix of S3 and MongoDB. But it basically allows me to easily clone new repos from GitHub I want to look at, pick files and directories from within those, and then read those files with an auto-scrolling thing that automatically marks things as read as I'm going through it. One of these days I might demo it, but it's, and I do plan on kind of like trying to make it a public tool eventually, but there's a lot of steps involved before reaching that level. And so in the meantime, for the next couple weeks or whatever, I'm just going to use the tool, iron out all the problems with it, figure out like what's good, what's bad. But I can use it to do all the source code reading that I want to. And so I've actually got a bunch of repos that I've cloned into the tool through the web browser, and I'm gonna start cracking away at them. As usual, the strategy I have is kind of strange. The strategy is read fast, low comprehension, and just hit a bunch of different repos. And one thing I noticed, and I have noticed before, but I definitely noticed at the tail end of doing all this JavaScript reading, was that towards the end, my comprehension was getting really much better. So even though I was still reading code at a fixed scrolling speed that was pretty fast, I was still like being able to comprehend much more than I was compared to the beginning. I was able to recognize and sort of comprehend things a lot better. So I expect the same thing to happen here. This time I'm going to be focusing on Python. And the reason is because I just spent the last 31 days or whatever. Well, if you go back to September 11th, I spent the last 31 days or 30 days studying JavaScript, which evolved into TypeScript. And now I want to get back to Python because I think that good web apps, they're a mixture of a nice, intelligent, efficient, sophisticated front end and a solid, reliable, back end. And so, I'm going to be using Python for probably everything in my back ends for like years, I would imagine. I can't imagine switching to something else at this point in time, especially with some of the news about people like Guido van Rossum trying to speed up Python while he's being paid working at Microsoft. I just think Python has a really good future, even if it's sort of slow in a couple different ways. Slow is a word that you need to attach to other dimensions, like slow when executing CPU, slow when executing this, slow when developing big projects, slow when developing small projects, slow when developing with typing or with this. So basically what I'm saying is slow is obviously to catch all, and I think that Python is still, I don't know. I've already invested a whole lot of time in it anyways, and you know what the slowest thing really is as a human being learning something. That's the slowest thing. And so anyways, so yeah, I'm going to be hitting a bunch of different repos. I wrote some of them down here. I'm just going to look on my site let's just jump to this one. So what I have here is Starlet, Scapy, UVcorn, Web3, FastAPI, GUnicorn, library-SDK, CPython, specifically /lib/asyncio, but I have the entire CPython repo here. PyCA/cryptography, that repo, Pandas, PyMongo, Augustin /WebSockets, NEIO, Sentry, or NEIO and Sentry. So those are kind of the ones that I'm targeting right now. Of course, I could be reading these repos for 100 days straight and maybe not be able to get through all of them. I'm not really sure. I doubt it though. That's a lot of content. But yeah, I'm gonna basically just crunch through them. What's cool about my new tool is I can pick what I want within the repo to read. So I can focus on one directory, and so I'll be able to kind of ignore things that were kind of creating a lot of bloat in my reading before, because it was hard to exclude them. Things like tests, things like just all sorts of different things. Not that it's bad to read tests, you can, but it's just nice to be able to pick and choose, if you want to or not. So anyways, I'm going to be doing that, and I'll let you guys know exactly what I end up reading and in what order. I think my tool, actually, if I add a little bit to it, my SRLQ2, I think I should be able to literally give you a high resolution history of every single file that I've read during a certain time frame, which could be daily, which could be monthly, weekly, whatever, you know? And so that'll be kind of interesting. I ultimately think that this is the future of human collaboration, where instead of learning in a classroom, you learn by exact copy. So one of the problems with education is you can't emulate another person exactly. But now that we have super monitoring computer software, if you learn through that medium, like you know, and so if you read through this site, which would, you know, for me, I have the site, so I read the code on the site, and it has slightly less. Its highlighting is slightly worse. There's two different types of highlighting. I probably shouldn't get into this, but there's syntax highlighting, which is available for the general web. You can just use a JavaScript library like highlight.js. And then there's semantic highlighting, which is what you see in your IDE, like PyCharm. And it's far superior. Semantic highlighting is far superior. So I don't have that on my website, my web app that I'm using. But I think I might try and add it because it will just take it to the next level. It'll be so good. But I would probably have to just figure out how to do that myself. Not that that would be impossible. But anyways, right, that was a tangent. What I was saying is, yeah, it's actually possible, I think, if I do it this way, to literally give you a sequence of everything that I read during a period of time, which is just incredible because you could do the same thing. Like, you could feasibly create a feed from that and just read in the exact same order. And that is very interesting to me because I feel like if two people do the exact same sequence of actions, they'll probably be much closer in where they land in the future. There's going to still be a big deviation probably. You know, different people are going to see different things, but I think there's some utility to it. But anyways, that's not really the main purpose of the tool. The main purpose of the tool is to just make it easier for me personally to consume code. And so that's what it does for me. So for the next, I don't know how many days, but I'm probably going to do at least 30 days with this one. But like I said, I sometimes get itching to program again, and it's a little bit difficult to do reading and programming at the same time, you know. And so I might end up cutting this short. But this series is going to be on Python. It's going to be on studying Python. Today I started it and I got about 4 hours in. 4 hours in. I don't know how much I read. That's one thing that's bad about this new tool is I don't have complete, nice aggregate statistics yet, although it's totally possible to do that, and I should because it's very attractive to know how many bytes you read, how many files you read, what the breakdown is based on the different repos. So you could be like, today I read 12 files from Sentry, 5 files from, you know, CPython, and something else, blah, 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 right? You should be able to get that breakdown, and I might add that to my site because, like I said, the site's in development for sure. But I'm definitely more focused on using it and just reading code again than like continuing to iterate on it, although I can. So anyways, I figured I'd give you guys this update. I also want to do more blog posts, you know, but it's just, you know, it's like a whole nother thing. Like just studying computer science is over here. Creating apps and like programs is over here. And then like creating content that's like text is over here. It's much harder to do that than it is to just sit here and talk. And so it takes more time, although I definitely want to get around to doing that because I believe that it's a worthwhile thing to do. I kind of see my future on the internet as being like YouTube, which is one form of content, which is like you get to see me just you know, basically just like a raw stream of consciousness. And then you have GitHub, which is like a repo, that everyone is expecting. Everyone expects to see code in the GitHub format, right? And then you have the blog, which is sort of just free form. It can be whatever I want it to be, which is not like, it's not like GitHub at all, really. You can download parts of the code in the zip file, but so it's just interesting. This is going to be sort of the trifecta that I have. And so I'm going to be probably trying to keep those things sort of tight knit. I have some other social media platform accounts, and I don't care about them. So far, my experiments with them have been extremely underwhelming. And so I'm not interested in really pursuing Odyssey.com or Vimeo or Instagram or Twitter really that much. It's kind of, I might continue to maintain it because I generate a video, but I honestly just think it's kind of a waste of time to try and grow those followings, but maybe not. So far though, the experiment has definitely proven to be not that effective. In fact, the YouTube channel is extremely hard to grow too, which is fine. I really do believe in sort of a long-term plan, and so I've said this before, because of how easy the YouTube medium is, pointing a webcam at my face and a microphone and just talking is very easy, and I feel like this is the main advantage of it, right? It's okay if nothing comes from it because almost nothing went into it directly, right? A lot of my work is happening whether or not I do this 10-minute step, although processing the video is a bit harder, but I have a little workflow. Everyone knows I barely edit my videos, so I keep it kind of minimal in that sense, and I just add a little bit of background ocean noises to just kind of keep it chill and relaxed and try and I like those kind of sounds because they are relaxing, and it should be relaxing and no pressure. It should be nice and chill, reflecting on the grind and the work that you're doing and the goals and sort of aim that you have. Your reflection should be like in a pool of water, and so anyways, I think I'm gonna stop with that. So hopefully I'll be consistent for the next couple weeks, and feel free to come along with me on my Python journey. And as I've said in a bunch of my videos, and I want to just reiterate it again, prioritize yourself, my friends. Try and control your focus. Try and keep yourself focused on what's good for you, and don't get lost in the noise and the chaos. And if it's better for you to work on your own stuff instead of watching my stuff, do that. Don't be a mindless drone. So anyways, thanks for tuning in, and peace out, guys.